Hi, my name's Mark, one of the pastors here at Trillium. I wonder how many of you out there have call display on your phone, your home phone, your mobile phone. Have you ever not answered the phone because of who's on the other end? You see their name pop up and you go, I just can't deal with them. Well, actually, I got a call coming in right now. And you can see here on my phone that I have two options here. I can go right in green and take the call, or I can go red and swipe the call away. And knowing who it is on the phone, I think I'm going to swipe the call away. Have you ever swiped someone away like that? I imagine most people have. It's pretty common practice, actually. Yet every phone call has within it some kind of human need. It could be a need to share some information with you. It might be important information, like mom's in the hospital, or our good friend Joe has just lost his job. It could be a desire to reach out to us. Maybe the person on the other end is just lonesome, or maybe they're concerned about us. Or maybe it's even a telemarketer. Occasionally they get through on my phone, and obviously there's a human need in that. They need to make a sale in order to make a living. But in any case, I would suggest to you that most phone calls, probably all phone calls, have some element of human need in them. And the basic question in life is, what are we going to do with people's need? Human need is, I think, one of the great challenges we face. What are you going to do with your need and neediness? What are you going to do with other people's need and their neediness? We're looking at how to become more generous, to walk the generosity path. 10 simple ways to be a more generous person, and we're on the 8th way. Spend time with people in need. Now, any person that you meet in life is someone who's in need, because we're all fragile, we're all needy, we're all in need. But the article is focusing on people who have lost the capacity to hide their neediness away from others. Maybe they're just financially strained and they have to go to the food bank. Or maybe they're emotionally drained and they just have no resources. Maybe they're physically so unwell that they need to rely on others for care. But inevitably, we come to places in life where we meet people who are in that kind of need. And in the article that was written on this, Joshua Becker suggests that we find those places out and spend some time with people who are in profound need. Jesus, when he was in his ministry, had sent the disciples out into that world that he lived in. And human need was so obvious. He didn't have to go to the food bank to find people who were poor, who were on the margins of life. They were all around him. 80% of the people in his world were subsistence farmers living just on the land, and marginally so. Everywhere he went, he met people in need. And Jesus' ministry was about embracing people in need and inviting them into a relationship with him that allowed him to minister to their need. And because of that, people came flocking out to him with both practical needs, emotional needs, spiritual needs, social needs. And it was almost overwhelming. So he eventually sent the disciples out into the countryside to minister to people, into the villages. And they come back to him and they're very excited about what they've experienced. They want to debrief with him, but there's so many people around Jesus that, in a sense, Jesus has to make a swipe and leave the scene. And the disciples get into the boat and they go to the other side of the Sea of Galilee to find a secluded spot and have some time to debrief and rest. But that crowd of neediness that was around Jesus notices them leaving, and they intuit where they're heading, and they go around the lakeside, and by the time they get to the other side of the Sea of Galilee, there's a crowd waiting for Jesus and the disciples. And in that moment, it says that Jesus has splagna on them, compassion. He could have been resentful or angry for their interference in his life, but instead he feels a gut level reaction to them. Splagna literally means your gut. And he allows their neediness in the moment to guide what he will do next. He could have said, sorry friends, don't have time to deal with you. I'm going to have to swipe you off, but I'll be back to talk to you later. Instead, he ventures out into the crowd. He begins to minister to them, teach them about God and God's love. He allows their neediness to guide his decision in the moment. Sometime perhaps today or this week, you'll experience a person's neediness and their need for you. It might be even through a phone call. In fact, I got a phone call from the same guy again. I think I'm going to take it this time and find out what is really going on the other side of that phone. Hey man, how's it going? Yeah, it's good to hear your voice. I'm interested in what you're up to.